Big up everybody, and we are live. It is the Bantz and Wolfie show, episode 4. Big up yourself. How is you feeling today, Bantz? You recovered from your Liverpool game yet?
Yeah, man. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm kind of like it's one of them ones where you know what we didn't lose, and sometimes you have to just accept those games, innit? You know, I don't think we were great, but it is what it is. We didn't lose, so yeah, I'm happy, man. Big up here to there in the chat as well.
Big up HTT. Yeah, so we have kind of got like a little Christmas theme going on our show this week. Normally, we will talk about results and fixtures, of course, but at the moment, there is a live link in the chat for anyone who wants to jump in. Like, obviously, if you got a camera and we can hear you, no problem. I will say this: I will check what is on my stage before I add you. So anyone trying to do no foolishness will not be added to the stage because,
For
like,
real.
yeah. But big up everybody. How is everyone doing today? Here today, what was your thoughts on the game as well? If you can't come on and say it in the, obviously on stage, definitely type it in the chat. I want to hear your thoughts as well because HTT is very like the assembled as well, very clever, understands football well. I want to hear what you guys have got to say. Now let's quickly go right a little rundown on the results today because I haven't seen all the classifieds. So let me just quickly see what the full
What?
football results were today. Pardon me. Hang on. I just got a text message. Excuse me. Yeah, football today. So we have the final scores today. Man City and obviously Brentford was postponed, obviously because Man City were at the World Club Championship. Arsenal, Liverpool 1-1. Tottenham, Everton 2-1 to Tottenham. Forest 2, Bournemouth 3. Luton 1, Newcastle 0. That's the shock of the day for me. Fulham 0, Burnley 2. West Ham 2, Man United 0. So, Bantz, we'll start from the top of that list, mate. Tell me what you think of the Man United. Man United's lost today
Yeah,
against
I watched that game actually, so I can actually talk about it. Fuzzy would be really good to probably come onto the show today.
Well, Fuzzy wants to come. There's an open link at the top. You can join.
Yeah, where is he? Let
I'll
me
add you on. We'll
see.
see who comes in and comes in. It's a
Yeah,
call in
yeah,
show.
I'm just gonna talk. Yeah, it's a calling show. So yeah, so I watched this game, I watched the whole game. Um Man United, they started the game okay. You know, they had a few chances. Garnacho, he had a few chances, but West Ham seemed to like have more control of the game. They seemed to be the team that wanted, you know, to press Man United more. They seemed to have the better chances. And overall, West Ham were the better team. They scored two decent goals. Bowen constantly lost, like, you know, counter-attacking football. Kobe Mino, the second goal, it was a mistake. It was a mistake. What happened is the ball came across to him in the defense, and he went to like, you know, when you take your eye off the ball for 1 second and you going to control it and the ball just goes right past your foot, went right past his foot, and I can't remember who ran in, but whoever ran in, they took advantage and someone just popped it into the goal. I can't remember. I think it was Paqueta and Bowen that scored today. And playing against Bowen and Paqueta, yeah, it's always going to be a long day. And Kudus as well. Kudus was brilliant today as well, man. He's really becoming showing himself as a player as well. Big up Dubois as well in the boxing as well. He just rattled that who did that Miller guy. That Miller guy, he's shit. But anyway, that's another story. Anyway, listen, bro, I'm gonna send you the footage of the punches, yeah, that he was getting. It was absolutely ridiculous,
Yeah,
man.
no, I'll catch up with it later because one thing about
But
it is
yeah,
because
but
I'll spend about an hour or something. Hopefully, get there in time for the
yeah, yeah,
closing
yeah.
events.
But I know. But the serious thing is, though, yeah, is, and this is the question that I'll probably pose to like Man United fans. Where's that Dims guy as well? Get him on here. This is the serious question. Is
Yeah, I'll
um
send him the link as well.
is um is Ten Hag, has he actually run his course now in terms of the team now? Because the team are not playing for him at the moment, and You know, it's almost like he's trying things, but it's just not working for him. And they're a team that, although they're pretty much, I think, are they sixth or something at the moment? Or they might be sixth or eighth. Let me just check my table.
What, Man United?
Yeah,
I think they're low. I think they're like eighth or ninth.
they're about eighth now. I just don't see this Man United really doing well against, the bigger teams. They look like a team that are in a lot of disarray at the moment. Fair play, Ten Hag started some young centre back today. What's his name? Kambala or some name like that as well. He got hooked off in the second half. But Man United to me, just although they slightly play in a different type of football, they just don't look, like the Man United of old. And
No, of course not.
there's got to be questions asked of Ten Hag at some point. Is he going to be the guy taking you? Should you actually keep him till next season, or do you sack him in January? So that's a question for the Man United fans. Yeah, is it Eric Ten Hag out, or do you want him in? Do you know what I mean? So, what do you think about that? What do you think about that, Wolf?
Well, I think just like us, and just before I answer that, JP, the stream, the link is at the top of this chat. So if you just scroll up, you should be able to find it. I will, but if you want to jump on, Brian, talk about the Chelsea game tomorrow as well, please feel free.
Yeah.
Because this
Please
is one of those ones. It's one of those ones where we're talking about everyone now, not just anything specific. But obviously, we'll have topics of conversation.
Anyone who wants to talk, man, just jump on, man. 5-10 minutes and have a little conversation. We ain't going to be doing this long tonight. It's going to be an hour. We know it's like, next few days, people are going to do it with their celebration. So we just want to just keep it short and sweet.
But,
So yeah, jump on.
But to answer your question, and I'm going to go off as well what JP just said here, yeah, they do look a different team. The only problem is, and I've always said this about United in the sense of their off-the-field antics and the way the club has been made to look is part of the reason why they're a massive shambles. And it's not just the results on the pitch. Because if you actually think about the results on the pitch, they're not actually too bad. If they have a good second half of the season, they could be right there in the mix for top four.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think a Premier League title race, never. But in terms of they can definitely be in with a shout. Because I'm not being funny. Like if you look at someone like Unai Emery, who's been at Villa a year and a half, just the same amount of what's the stuff of it? Because sooner or later it has to click for Ten Hag, or he can be sacked. So it's one of those ones where he'll either get it right or he'll get fired. It's as simple as that. And with West Ham though, looking on the opposite side of that particular coin, I do think I got to big up David Moyes with West Ham because hang on, cases to talking about Man United, more domestic violence cases they win this season. Yeah, it's a bit hard.
They've lost 8 games this season already, man. Is it 8 or 9 games already? That's
the thing.
Cool.
Like Fuzzy said, they don't win. They don't do draws. That's the thing, because even if they play 16, they'll lose 8, but they'll win 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it kind of and I'm not being funny, everything that they lose in terms of the defeats, because they don't draw and they win more often than not, or they'll draw often. They never draw. So it's either they get 3 points or they don't get any points at all. It seems to be weird. And Fuzzy pointed that out to me, which is quite strange. But he was right.
Yeah, they're just like a really funny team. You know what I mean? It's like they can probably win a few games and then the fans will be like, yeah, we're going for the top 4 now, and then they lose a couple and then they're saying, oh, team shit, manager out and all that. So they're just really in that place at the moment, isn't it, where they're just like, so yeah, I don't know what else to talk about United really, because that's where they are. That's where they are at the moment, isn't it? Who's the next result? What's the next team that played as well?
Well, you got Spurs and you got Everton. That's another.
Okay, yeah.
The Spurs have been your team in the season so far, haven't they? In terms of the ones to watch.
Yeah. They see Tony was talking some smack about Spurs earlier, but Spurs are actually a big threat at the moment. That's a big result for them at the Tottenham ground today, beating Everton 2-1. Yes, they can see goals as well, but the way they're playing at the moment, Song, Kulusevski, who's that guy as well, Udogie and Who's the other guy as well? Who's the other guy? Did Richard? I don't know if Richarlison played today as well, but they're actually playing decent football as well. It's like I can watch Spurs now, as much as I can't stand them. It's an entertaining game. It's not going to be a boring game with Spurs. You know, there's everything. You've got entertainment. You know, you've got goals, and they're only 4 points off the top. Let's put that into perspective, and they haven't got their full first team playing at the moment.
Yeah, but who
Van der
has?
Ven's out. Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's true. Yeah, it's true. Okay,
Who has?
Aston
Who
Villa,
has?
Aston Villa, Aston Villa probably got most of their first team.
Mm.
They've probably got a few injuries here and there, but out of all the teams at the top, who do you think's got the most injuries? Is it Spurs
Well,
or would it be
no, what about
Newcastle?
Newcastle? Yeah, Newcastle, I'd say. In terms of injuries, I'd definitely say Newcastle. I have to say, at one point, Man United were quite high on that list.
Mm.
We topped it. We started that list, man. We
Yeah,
started
yeah,
the
yeah,
season with
yeah.
like
You lot
13 man
started.
out,
You lot
14.
started the disease, man. The injury disease, bro. You man started it. So
Yeah, Spurs were
yeah,
like, wow.
Spurs. I think if Spurs, let's see, this all depends on January as well. If Spurs bring in a centre forward, a decent centre forward, and probably they've got Pedro Porro as well. He's been good as well. They might need a midfielder as well. Um, I think Spurs will have a decent season. I can see them actually finishing in the top four this season because the teams they all the like so when you look at the top teams, so when you look at the top four, Arsenal, Liverpool, um, United, well, did Villa beat Spurs, didn't they? They drew with us, they drew with City, they beat Liverpool, a dodgy decision. They lost to Villa, they beat Newcastle, United, they beat United, didn't they?
Mm.
As well. So their form's not as bad in the top six or whatever you want to call it at the moment.
Yeah,
Their
but they're not
form is
shining. We were talking about this a minute ago. Like, no one
but they're
really stands
supposed to.
out in that regard,
I
bro.
know, but they're not supposed to be shining though, are they? Because
No, but you're
there was
saying that as
no
an
big
Arsenal.
expectation.
You're saying that as an Arsenal fan, though.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying it as any fan. I'm
Oh, right.
saying I already told you that Spurs are a good team, are dangerous. They're 4 points off the top. This isn't
Mm.
nothing to do with Arsenal hat on anything at the moment. I'm saying they're dangerous. Yeah, they could pose a threat to the top four. You know, they may have an influence on who probably wins the title as well. Because, as I said, they drew to Man City, yeah, they drew to Arsenal as well, and they've beaten Liverpool as well. So that's what 5 points already taken off the top team, the top three teams already. So
Mm.
they're a very good team, and when you play this team, yeah, you know you have to put your best performance on against Spurs because any chance they get, they're gonna take advantage of it. And you know, Deji's going on about Spurs are gonna win the league and they're in the title. I don't think they're in the title chase, but I think they're not far off. They're not far off, and they could be, I don't know, underdogs, man, possibly next season because they are serious. Yeah, they're a good team at the moment, and I'm not gonna be the Arsenal bias and say, "Oh, Spurs are shit." I fear Spurs, man. I think if they get their team back all together, yeah, and they start playing, yeah, they could be dangerous, man. Especially if Van der Ven comes back, they could be very dangerous. Big up
Mm.
Si in the chat, man. Si, do you want to jump on, or are you shy, Si? Are you, or do you want to jump on? What do you think about Spurs?
Me, I like them actually. I'm not really gonna like go hard. I like the football they play. I like the fact they're aggressive.
Yeah,
I like the fact that they play on the front foot, similar to how Liverpool do. But as I said, like, and I like the style. Do I think it's a style Spurs can pull off continuously? No. Is it pleasing on the eye? Yeah, because they do. And I'm not gonna lie, they've got ballers. They've got Madisons. They've got the Sons, the Kulusevskis.
Yeah. I didn't even mention him. He's coming back probably in January as well.
They got good football. No, but one of the reasons why Bantz, this is a bit awkward in terms of we might not get a lot of people come on in terms of because right now everyone else is doing their responses too because Fuzzy's online and Jono's online. Jess is doing a thing with Lee right now. So we might not
just
have
do our hour. Yeah, we just do our hour anyway. Same way anyway. If people want to jump on, they jump on. If they don't, then it's up to them, innit?
Yeah, no problem. But I do think that. But the closest right now I can compare for Spurs is probably Villa. In terms of how they set up, because I'm not gonna lie, because if Spurs are in that conversation in terms of because you said a team to watch out for, Villa are higher up than Spurs right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not being funny. As much as I like Ange Postecoglou, who do we think is the better manager between Unai Emery and Ange?
Well, Emery's probably more proven, obviously, with his European titles. His Europa titles and stuff like that as well. So, yeah, I think with Spurs as well that teams haven't, apart from Chelsea and some other team, they haven't quite figured them out yet, have they? Because Spurs like to press, isn't it? They like to press teams, just suffocate teams, isn't it? And just keep attacking. But the problem they have as well is that they're another team as well that they can be like caught on the counter attack as well, and that's very dangerous as well because when you come up against a team, like for example Wolves, when they played them, Wolves were getting battered, pressure until the last 10-15 minutes they started coming back into the game, and they got that last minute goal, and then they got the last seconds like winner as well. So Spurs, they've got their weaknesses as well. I just think that they're going to be a team that are going to be competing quite a lot this season, and to beat an Everton team that's really been dogged and really been just like we don't give a shit. We got deducted points to beat them, and I know Everton scored one goal. It's still testament to Spurs beating a solid Everton team as well, because Everton been quite good over the last, is it 3-4 games? Have they won like about 3-4 games? The last 3 games. No, Everton. They've won about their
they won. Yeah, they won 4 games in a row, I think.
Yeah, so they came into this game with good form. So
yeah, they did.
For Spurs to beat
they drew their last game against Fulham in the cup, but they beat Burnley before that. They beat us before that. They beat Newcastle before that. They beat Forest before, and they beat Forest before that.
So that's you only can beat who's in front of you as well.
Yeah, that's a solid run.
Exactly.
But we might as well stay on subject now. What do you think of Everton so far? Have they showed enough where everyone thinks they're gonna? What do you think would be a good trajectory for them? Because is it going to be one of those ones where they keep on ploughing up the table, or do you think this is going to be like the blip? This is what burst their bubble. Because I think Everton are probably the most fascinating team in the Premier League at the minute, to be honest.
I think Everton really, I can see them maybe top 10 team. If they continue, because Everton are one of those teams, isn't it? They can go on a 3-4 game run, but they can also get battered as well, isn't it? They're one of them teams at the moment, that sometimes, you need something to spur you on, and that points deduction had actually spurred them on, because I don't think they were doing too well before those points deduction. I think they were getting.
No, they were doing well. They'd won, innit? Because they'd climbed about 5 or 6 places, and then it put them back in the relegation zone. Right,
okay.
So realistically, without that points deduction, they'd probably be above us.
Seriously?
No joke. Well, basically, look at it. Let me look at Everton in the league right now, right?
Yeah,
we just do it simple like math right now, right? There you go, Everton. There you go, league table. They are on 16 points, right? And we are on 22. Add 10 points, they're on 26. Their actual position, they'd be right behind Brighton in 10th, and we would be 11th.
I suppose.
So there you go. They're already a top half team in terms of that respect, because they've already got the form to back it up. So here you go. So I do think, like, there's one thing about Daishi is I have to say I do like Sean Dyche as a manager.
Yeah,
Right?
he's resolute, and he
Yeah,
don't give a shit.
he knows how to do the basics right. He knows how to make a team work. They
Mm,
always Dicey teams are always physically nasty to come
yeah,
against.
yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
with
Like
Burnley as well, man. Like, who's that guy? Ashley. He played for Burnley. Ashley
Ashley
something.
Barnes.
Yeah, he used to be a good little player, but he also used to put it in as well, innit? Ashley Barnes, innit?
Hmm.
So he's
Oh, I
got
think
those.
Chris Wood, didn't it? He used to play for them as well.
Chris Wood as well. Yeah, yeah. He's a good player as well, you know. So
Big up Scott
yeah,
Kirk in the
man.
chat, by the way.
Ben
Scott,
Me as well. Big up
yeah,
Scott.
Ben
How you
me.
doing, mate?
If you want to come on, again, a little reminder: if anyone wants to come in
Put
and have their
put the
say,
link in the chat. Put the
I
link in
have.
the chat.
I've just
Yeah.
posted it. There you go. Like everyone's welcome to come in and say a little bit about their team. Doesn't
Don't be
matter who you
shy.
support. Yep, I would do not be shy in the least. DJ, I wouldn't say fascinating, interesting for the moment, but eventually they will stay top 10, 14. In fact, you're talking about your Everton, maybe, but I was just emphasizing the point of if they didn't have their 10 points reduction, they'd already be chasing the teams like in ninth and above them. So I think, like, because don't forget, because of like what they kind of went from Carlo Ancelotti to Frank Lampard, so it was kind of like, yeah, and then they nosedived a little bit. Then they went through a couple of other managers, and now hopefully, I think Daishi will do with them what he did with Burnley. He will stabilize them a bit, and they'll become a top 10 team again. And then again,
Mm.
obviously, because obviously we mentioned Everton, we might as well give a big shout out to West Ham as well. Right, they're
Yeah,
starting to show their quite. I have to say, I like what Moisey's done with them. They're not always consistent.
yeah.
I feel that Daishi is the last of the old school managers. Everyone wants to play Pep style nowadays. I agree with that, but I think Moisey is in the same category as Sean Dyche, considering Moisey's been around longer. Because
Where where the Hammers in it? Yeah, the Hammers are in sixth, mate.
that's what I
They're
mean.
in sixth place.
And the thing is, and that's what I mean about how, because this is what I feel about the Premier League generally. If you actually look at all the teams in it, because not one team stands out that much in terms of how they play, regardless of how many points they got. Because it's not like how previous years where there's already one team blitzing off into the distance by itself.
Mm.
Because that was the case. Even with Arsenal last year, that was the case. You guys won your first 10 points, 10 games, sorry, took the league by storm. You stormed into a lead. That's not happened this year. That's why I said maybe the dynamic on the football is a bit different because there's no one team in charge dictating the pace. Everyone's giving each other a slap at the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Newcastle will beat Arsenal and Chelsea, but then go and lose to Everton and Man United. You know what I mean? Man United will beat Chelsea and beat Everton, but then get slapped up by Bournemouth. You understand? That's why I tried to make the point to Ollie earlier about it's not a given this year. Even with City, even when you get De Bruyne, because it's not
Where
just
is this Onome guy? Where is this
well,
Onome
I
guy?
did
'Cause
say
he wants
to
to
him,
link.
I did say, well, it's in
Tony
the
said to
chat.
get his number or something like that. Let me see. Because you know if he comes on, you know he's gonna start talking for forever about
Well,
this
that's what
team.
I said to him
I
about
don't mind that though.
if you're gonna come on and talk, but like, try and summarize your points about City in 5 minutes. But then
Yeah.
again, as we're talking about, Moisey has already won a European trophy with West Ham. So do we need to give Moisey his credit as well?
No, 100%.
It's good.
100%.
It's good at the moment with all the teams close. Yeah, I agree, Scott Kirk. It is, but the problem is they all play ugly football. And then when I say ugly football, don't get me wrong. If it was the problem with because of the officiating and how bad some of the teams have actually been, the actual football has been an eyesore to watch. Even if it's resulted in a decent competitive league, it's been very, very tough to watch because everything's been debatable this year. You know, like when Spurs beat Liverpool, it was debatable. They should never had a man sent off and all that kind of thing. It was a bump on Liverpool. When Arsenal got beaten by Newcastle this year, the ball went out and there was a foul and this and that, and it was a massive controversy. Like when everyone loses nowadays, there's always an excuse as well. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
There's no okay. Really, I think to be honest, going back to Ange for a second, I think he's the only one that just said, "Yeah, we lost because we played the way we played. That's the way we play. Move on, mate." You know what I mean? Like, so I will give. But again, I have to give a shout out to Moisey because out of all the managers that have been at teams recently, I'm happy with Arsenal result because that was definitely a penalty. Yeah, with
Which one is he talking about? Odegaard, the handball, or the one with Havertz when Havertz got pushed? Is that the one you're
Well,
talking about, Scott?
I'm imagining he's talking about a Liverpool penalty. If he said,
Well, Havertz could have had a penalty as well.
well, it's 2-1, half and a dozen of the other, isn't it? Oh, there you
Nah,
go.
that was a push, man.
Handball, he says.
Oh yeah, no, that was definitely a penalty. Definitely. So yeah, we got away with one there, man. Definitely got away with one.
Well, there you go. And you were saying in the watch along, Vance, about how Arsenal never get decisions. You got a big one there, and they didn't even VAR it, which is surprising.
I know, that's crazy. That was crazy. Well,
for once, I think VAR not getting involved, and Liverpool fans are going to complain about this.
yeah.
Especially if it was a handball, it was a penalty. We never get VAR decision. It'll just add to their Spurs woes. It really was. DJ Crane, what is worrying at the beginning? It was so close. City is only 6 points off. West Ham is in 10th, and we know Arsenal can drop an 8-point gap. So the close finish of reality is Arsenal 5th. Really? Yeah, but if you're going by that, you have to go on. But where was everyone else last year in comparison to that? How many points did West Ham drop? How many points did United drop? How many points? Because I know for a fact Chelsea, we dropped a lot of points in the second half of the season last season. And the thing is with my team's even still looking bleak because we're still trying to get people back fit for the second half of the season. And we're still wheeling people off for 4 months. Look at Reece James. He went for a hamstring operation yesterday and now he's out for 4 months.
That's crazy, man.
So it's one of those ones where I understand why people will compare things to last season, but I think this season's been that tad bit more nuts. I've always given Moisey his due. What he did with Everton in the end, and he's done with the Hammers is great. People give him shit because of his style, but he gets results from mediocre players, exactly like Dashi does. And that's why I like Moisey. And I think he's gonna have a problem soon though, because Mikel Antonio, he's not the youngest players.
No.
And their style relies a lot on him because he likes a bully man up front.
I think Paqueta is the key in that team at the moment.
To the midfield, yeah, to the midfield.
Yeah. And I think
Corey.
Yeah, if City buy Paqueta, but West Ham always seem to get decent players in their team, don't they? Like they've got the Kudos as well. They always seem to get decent players, that are decent level. So
James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, so they got some good players in their team, Bowen
and he's got one thing that all the other managers haven't got with the team he's at right now. He's got a European Cup.
Exactly. I don't care what anyone says about conference or whatever. Yeah, you got to win it. You got to win a cup. Oh my! Do you know what I've just seen in the crowd? Yeah, in Saudi, I just saw Conor McGregor next to Ronaldo. What an unlikely pair to be seated together. Yeah, sitting right next to each other, isn't it?
It's boxing, isn't it? It's boxing.
Yeah. So that's crazy. But can we talk about the Villa game quickly? The Villa and Sheffield United.
1 minute, yeah, because obviously where we've already spoken about the Man United game and Spurs game, they were their respective opponents in being Everton and West Ham, so it was just topping it off. Well, go on then. You open up about that game then. Go on.
Yeah, so I don't know if you watched that game yesterday, but I watched that game last night.
I was at work.
See. I watched that game and it was, do you know what? Villa struggled last night. They absolutely struggled against Sheffield United. And if Sheffield United had better strikers, they could have easily won that game. Because what Sheffield United did is they caught them on the counter-attack. And I was impressed with their wingers or forwards or whatever, because they were quite pacey, man. They were quite fast as well, but they just didn't have that extra oomph about them in the final third. But yeah, Villa had Villa were the team that was supposed to batter this Sheffield United, because Sheffield United, they've been shit in comparison.
Yeah, but people said that about Luton and that lot though.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute because that's the Newcastle game. But Chris Wilder, experienced head, being there, he kind of like stabilized his team a bit. And it was 0-0 up to, what was it, 60 or 70th minute? And then was it 60th or 70th, or was it a bit longer than that? Maybe the 80th minute or something like that. 84th minute or something like that. And Sheffield United scored on a break. What happened is Matty Cash, he fouled one of their players, but he got injured at the same time. And from the result of the corner, I think there was a second phase of play, and they scored a nice goal. But Villa did score, but the goal was ruled out by VAR. Yeah, what happened is the Sheffield United keeper was being held in it, so by was it Ramsey, I think, and they scored in it, but that was ruled out as well. No, it was Leon. Who's the Jamaican guy? Leon Bailey. He scored,
Yeah.
but that goal was ruled out. But
He's a good player,
Sheffield, yeah, he's a very good player. But Sheffield United, they clearly couldn't handle the pressure, and I think it was another set piece. And who scored their header again for Villa? Douglas Luiz put in a beautiful ball. Like how we scored our goal today. It was similar to that kind of ball, and the keeper came out, but who scored the goal? I can't remember who scored, but anyway, they scored. It was a header that they scored as well. So that was a good result for Sheffield United. I felt Sheffield United could have held on though, but they didn't. But yeah, for Villa to come back as well, you've got to give them their props as well, because they could have easily lost that game. So they could have been top right now if they had. I think if they won today, isn't it? They could have been top of the league.
Could have been, but it's just a missed opportunity. Let me put a question out to you and the chat and anyone else who's paying attention. Who do you think is manager of the season so far? And I'll come back to you, and I'm going to give you time to think about that. But I want to, because for me, it was one of the shocks of the day. It wasn't the biggest one, but it's one of the shocks of the day. Fulham 0, Burnley 2 at the Craven Cottage. What does everyone think about that?
That's crazy. That is crazy, isn't it?
The run Fulham were on as well, by the way, because Fulham
were 5-0. They were hitting teams with fives. Yeah, that's a good result.
Stuck 3 past Liverpool.
That's it. Zaniolo is the one who scored. Yeah. I have to answer the manager of the year. I'm sorry, manager of the season in a minute, because I'm struggling for that. Maybe Emery so far. How far he's got his team so far, I probably would say.
Well, I'm going to be outlandish here and be crazy. I'm chucking Sean Dyche in there.
Sean Dyche, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Hey, bro, can you imagine if he takes them to that? If you imagine if he gets them Europe?
I don't think Everton will get into Europe.
No, but no. But can you imagine if they did though? 10-point deduction.
If they did,
you're in the relegation zone, and then you make Europe.
That'd be crazy. And
I'm not being funny. Like I said, I'm not even joking. If they didn't have those 10 points, they would be in 26 points. They'd be above us. They'd be in 9th. They'd be in clawing distance of everybody else. So, like, it's, funny old season, this one, isn't it? But I'm not gonna lie.
But you've got Bournemouth like tailing you, and Brentford and all those guys there as well. So, and you don't know. No, but you don't know. You don't know if Everton would have won those games either as well. It's like, it's easy to say they would have been this and they would have been that, but you don't know.
That's true.
You don't know.
But I'm only going by what the facts were, and the facts were they are on 16 points, and that's after a 10-point deduction. So that's not. Don't get me wrong. Like, I do agree with you that there's a lot of football to be played and a lot could have happened. But realistically, if they didn't have those 10 points deducted, this is where they would be.
Yeah.
So what I mean? Like, I'm not just.
I hear what you're saying. But for me, where Emery's got his boys at the moment, yeah.
Oh, you going for the manager of the season thing? Okay, yeah.
Oh, manager so far. It's got to go to Emery, man. What? They've not lost at home for how many games? Is it 10, 15
games?
It's
been ridiculous. It's like 30 or 40 now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And he's got his boys playing, yeah? He's got his boys playing. So I'm gonna give my props to Emery at the moment. And they're in Europe as well. So, they've got the adversity of Europe and playing in the Premier League, and they're doing well in the Premier League. So I'm going to give him my flowers. What was the team he was talking about?
Burnley, because they beat Fulham.
Burnley. Company, man. You know what? He
Linton.
seems to be getting a bit of a grip in it on the league now, isn't it? His football seems to be paying off a bit now, isn't it? You know, his football style as well.
Well,
Mate,
they got. They're
what's
still.
up?
They're still in. They got the best result was a few games ago. It was Burnley 5, Sheffield United 0. But they're still patchy, man. Because I'll give you an example. They won against Fulham today, but lost against Everton. Drew with
Mm,
Brighton, then lost against Wolves, then beat Sheffield United,
consistent.
then lost against West Ham at home. So,
Where are they in the league?
19th. Oh,
Ooh,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. The 19th. They got out of 18 games. They've won 3, drawn 2, lost 13.
Wow, that's relegation fodder, isn't it?
Well, it sounds it, doesn't it? Don't get me wrong. I appreciate if companies' football clicks, but there you go. DJ Crane agrees with you. Has to be Una Emily. Good evening,
Nah.
everybody.
Good
Good night.
evening.
So does Sai. He says it has to be Una Emery at the moment. So close for going for the top. Yeah, true. I'm not saying he's not underperforming, but I've seen Emery do this before with Sevilla, by the way. When they go to put like they threaten like they're going to break into the top 4, and then all of a sudden they're like top 7. So and I'm only going by what I've seen with him with Villarreal and Sevilla. So and I'm not gonna lie, I've watched as much Spanish football as I have English. So
So,
I'm going by history, what he's done in history in terms of
mm,
because I'm not being funny. I don't think I think over the last 10 years, I think he's only finished top 4 like 3 times.
mm.
Did he finish top 4 with Arsenal in his first season? It was what was it?
No, he came
5th?
fifth. Yeah,
It was 5th, isn't it?
yeah. I think there's a point behind. Who was it? Spurs or something?
Something like that. But
Yeah,
as a manager, I do like him. He's got the tactical know-how. He
yeah.
knows how to get the best out of his players. But is he like the Spanish? Sorry, the whatever he is he like the Spanish Harry Redknapp or something? Like, is he a guy that can get them ball in, but is he a guy that can take them on to another level? And that's not even a mockery of Harry Redknapp, because some of Harry Redknapp's teams were
Yeah, I
sick.
love Harry on that, man. But do you know what? He's showing that, you know, he's up there at the moment. Can he can
Mm-hmm.
he can he sustain that? That's the question, isn't it? That's the big question, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So, you know, last time out he came fifth with Arsenal, in his first season. You know, I don't know, where did Villa finish up last season? Was it eighth or something like that? Ninth or
Let me
something?
check.
I remember.
Let me check. Premier League
But
2.
the main point is this season, and yeah, it's a full season.
Villa were 14th.
14th last season. So
Yeah.
you just so look there. Can he improve them? He's already improved them already this season
Mm-hmm.
so far.
No,
Yeah,
no, no. I was just talking about by what I've seen Unai Emery traditionally
yeah,
do. And I'm not
yeah.
being funny. Based on what DJ Crane just said, he says based on his
He's a
past.
cup guy. Yeah, he's a European cup manager, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Manager.
I would say he's a European specialist. Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be the
yeah,
best way of summing him up. He would be a European. He's kind of like a Mourinho in a way.
yeah,
In terms of he's got that tactical know-how, he knows how to make his teams play dirty if he
yeah,
needs to.
yeah.
But don't get me wrong, what DJ Crane said, based on history, Poch was a bad appointment as Chelsea manager. Well, if you ask any real Chelsea fan, would they want an ex-Spurs manager? The first thing they'll tell you is F, and it begins in off. So, but the thing is,
Far
when you
off, yeah.
yeah,
Far
exactly.
off, yeah.
But the thing is, like when you look at because the thing is, this is the problem. Everyone looks at this. Chelsea should be going for titles. That's not what they're doing at the moment. They're building a team. What's the difference? Okay, with the Mourinho's and stuff, that you had Drogba's, Diego Costas, blah 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 blah. When you only have 3 players in your team that are above the age of 25, and one of them is 25, by the way, not above it that much. Like the idea is to develop them. Then you make them win trophies. That's the problem. And I know Chelsea fans, and I'll flip the script. Everyone says that, okay, I know Chelsea fans pine for Abramovich because Abramovich equals titles. But the thing is, with the amount of shit we've got in because of Abramovich, and we're still paying for it, by the way, and we're still going to pay for it because they're still trying to bring us under like 10 different charges. You know what I mean? Shit's going to happen. 1 minute.
Yeah, but
Not at the moment,
you
though.
guys, thing is, we can talk about Chelsea in a moment, yeah. But let's get through. Who's the other team? Is it Forest and Bournemouth.
Big up metal face
Forest?
down. Yeah, well,
Big up.
no, well, Forest played against Bournemouth at home, yeah, and they lost 3-2.
It's a good result for Bournemouth when you look at it, because I think they're on 19 points now.
Oh yeah, they're
So
not going to get
that's a good,
relegated.
that's a good result for them. But
Well,
seriously,
they're level on points with us.
no, not.
So yeah, we're in 10th at 22 points, and Bournemouth are in 11th for 22 points. We were above them in goal difference.
Boy, you lot need a win tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, we do. But the thing is, I got a feeling it's one of those ones where no, Metal Face, that's not true. They didn't snitch on themselves. They reported things that Abramovich did that they're going to have to pay for. And I'm not being funny. It goes way beyond just what they've done in terms of what the dodgy finances were.
Let's go into the Chelsea game. Then we can cover that as well. Because you're just going to get sidetracked. Let's go into the Chelsea game, Chelsea and Wolves game tomorrow. Yeah, Wolves. What do you think? What do you think about that game tomorrow? Where's it going to be won? Where's it going to be lost?
Well, it depends. I don't think it'll be lost. I think we'll give we'll give them a game. Wolves a game.
Neto's back tomorrow, by the way.
Sorry?
Neto's back tomorrow, by the way.
Yes, so Nkuku's back for us. That's as big to me
as
it is.
So
I'm not being funny. Pedro Neto's a guy I've seen play before. It's not like, this is the first time we're playing against Pedro Neto.
No, that's not the point. He's a good player, man. He's a good player.
But the thing is, I'll tell you what, yeah, with my team, it's about cohesion. It's not the fact we haven't got good players. We just don't have any end product. We've got good players falling out of our ears. So it's one of those, and then everyone's like 2-1 Wolves. Why 2-1 Wolves?
No, this ain't 2-1 Chelsea. Oh, 2-1 Wolves.
No. Look, it's DJ Crane 2-1 Wolves. Why 2-1 Wolves? Our midfield's better than theirs. Our defense is better than theirs. Why 2-1 Wolves?
What's Metal Face Doom saying? Is he saying 2-1 or Chelsea or 3-1 Chelsea?
I don't know. He just
Chelsea. So he's saying Chelsea. He's saying Chelsea.
Oh, the mighty Chelsea. There you go.
See?
There you go. Mighty Chelsea.
That put a smile on your face, didn't it? Look, that put a smile on your face, didn't it?
Not really. I just smiled.
Where is the game? Is it your?
Is that Molyneux?
Oh, do you know what? Because you've got Nkunku back now as well. You lot might start playing a bit different.
Well, the thing is, that's the thing. Actually, I'm not being funny. I don't see. Don't get me wrong. One thing I will say about my team that's good at the minute, you're already seeing the results of some of Poch's hard work. Palmer, baller.
But he came in as a baller.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why whenever I hear Tony mention about Chelsea and Kai Havertz and all that, to us, Palmer is what Kai Havertz should have been. He's that guy that floats. He'll take responsibility. He'll bang penalties. He'll take people on, and he can score. He can actually score. And the thing is, one thing about it is, I do believe on our day we have a better midfield than Wolves.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I know Wolves have got good players because I rate Huang as well. He's a good player. He's quick. He's fast.
Yeah, he's not scoring goals though. He's not scoring.
Well, no, but he can be dangerous, and he's one of those guys that can hurt you.
Pedro Neto is their star player.
Yeah, he's their star player. But even though he might be back, I don't think he's going to be fully match fit. He's been out for about a month.
Yeah.
So I'm not being funny. Don't get me wrong. As long as we do our jobs properly tomorrow, even by what I've seen over the last couple of games, we'll give them a game, certainly. You know what I mean? It's not like this season when we've lost, people have been slapping us left, right, and centre. Just realistically, we just don't have. Look at when we were playing Man United in the first half. We were balling them off the pitch. We just weren't finishing our dinner. We had about 5 chances in the first half. We should have scored. Yeah. Remember when you were saying earlier about the Liverpool game with when Liverpool had 5 players against Arsenal's 2, and they still wasted possession and not scored. Do you know how many times I watched that against Manchester United as a Chelsea fan? We went 4-on-2, 5-on-2, 5-on-3, 3-on-1 at one point as well, and we just didn't finish our dinner, bro. You do that against Bournemouth, you're getting hurt. They're taking that chance.
You know what is, Wolf, yeah? Styles make fights, isn't it? So, you know what, yeah?
And games.
This could be, and games. So this could be an interesting game, you know? I don't know. You know what? We can talk about names. We can talk about, you know what I mean, team
Bournemouth
sheets.
Getting Europe, that's an interesting shout.
You know,
maybe.
Yeah, we can talk about names, but this is a hard game for you guys. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for you.
No, I never said it was.
I don't think it's going to be like, if you guys score early, then maybe, but I think this is a good test for you as well, this game. I think this is a good test.
Chelsea ain't direct in your defense, won't cope with Neto and the Asian guy. Okay, I've just told you Neto's not fully fit, and certain people don't rate that Asian guy as highly apparently as you do. I
Who's
don't.
that? Wang? Is that Wang?
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't think particularly he's that great a player, but he's just on a player on his day he can hurt you.
He's
Just like
clutch, innit? He can be clutch in it at times, innit?
yeah,
That's what he's like, innit? He's a
going
clutch
metal
player.
face.
They got
We
Neto, they got Gomez, and they got Cunha as well. He's quite
obviously
wasteful as well. Who's their left back as well? He's supposed to be quite good as well. Can't cross to save his life though. They've got some good players. Remember they beat City as well this season as well. But you know what? We smashed them at Emirates. They actually we watched that game, didn't we? We didn't actually smash them. They came back into the game.
well, to be honest, would you say Wolves are better than Brighton?
Wolves gave us a better game than Brighton this season.
All right,
but I wouldn't say they're better than on a whole.
Okay, because let's define what's Wolves' level.
Mid-table.
Mid-table, right?
Mid-table.
Now we're mid-table as well.
What's your level? Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah, we're mid-table as well. But right now, right, who has the better tools to push on?
You guys, obviously, but that don't mean nothing when it comes to a game. Yeah,
no, but I do think, because you mentioned it yourself. In Cuckoo coming back,
Wolves. Who's better, Everton or Wolves?
I reckon Everton. They got more to their squad.
There's
one thing about Everton on their 11, their first 11 on their day can give anyone a headache. Anyone, because they've got Oni, they got the Corey, all them lot. They got mans of power, strength, pace. I'm not being funny. You got to remember they still missing mans like Seamus Coleman and them lot. You remember him?
Yeah. No, I thought he came back. Seamus Coleman.
No, I think he got injured again.
But their keeper's out, isn't it? Their main keeper's out, isn't it? I think
Pickford,
Wolves as well.
For
Wolves. What's his name? He got injured, didn't he? What's his name again? Wolves keeper.
Look on the bright side. Chelsea win or lose, you stay 10th. To be honest, that's not really what my concern is. I've seen my team finish 10th and then win the Premier League the following year. That doesn't bother me, mate. I'm just waiting for the kickstart. Because that's the thing. We're the only team in the Premier League that can do that. We can finish 10th one year, then be first the next. No one else can do that in the Premier League.
Let's see their so they got Craig Dawson, Ryan, Aït-Nouri. They've got players not really heard of. Semedo, Kilman, Totti, Lamina, he's decent. Traore, Gomez, Doyle. They're just, you know what? They're just a standard team, ain't they? They're just the run of the team. It's 50. You know what? You could either go to there, batter them, or it could just be a draw in it, depending on what Chelsea turns up, isn't it? I think Nkunku though, makes your team much more
dangerous.
And the confidence is probably going to be there a bit more now as well because he's that type of player, isn't it? He oozes class, in it. So, when he came on the other day, he looked decent as well. So. And you won as well, so it's all about confidence, isn't it? You don't have to just gain that confidence and just start winning games, innit? If you start winning like 4 or 5 games in a row, do you know what I mean? You're up there again.
Well, the thing is with Chelsea, right? This is the thing. The only bigger teams that have beaten us this year have been Villa, Man United, Newcastle, but we drew with Liverpool, Arsenal, and Spurs, right? No, we beat Spurs. What am I talking about? We beat Spurs. And if we're already competing with teams like that, then you got to analyze the problems of Chelsea. The Chelsea problems are we slip up with teams like Villa, who've shown they're a bigger team now, no joke. So there's no. But when we lost to Forest at home, for example, right, we've kind of got the old Arsenal syndrome in the sense of you don't finish off the little teams, but you do all right against the big teams. Do you remember back in there, like what 2005-ish, 6-ish, when you guys would do good against the big teams, but you do a little bit dodgy against the Bolton. Or a little bit dodgy against Everton. That's kind of how we are at this point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as soon as we get a team that physically gets it the better of us, we kind of like lose what we're doing. But I do think you can see the work coming off in Poch's team. Now, everyone said to me about like their injuries for other teams. Bruv, we haven't even had our first choice left back, right back, and 2 centre backs, supposedly, for most of this season.
Yeah, but everyone's got injuries, bro.
Yeah, but we've had our injuries since the start. That's the thing. Bruv, okay, look at Spurs, for example. They were crying about not having Madison after 10 games. We didn't have Nkuku at all.
Yeah, but you're Chelsea, bro.
Yeah,
You're
yeah, I get that. But the thing
You're
is, when
big
you're
Chelsea,
Chelsea,
bro.
yeah, we're big Chelsea, but we're obviously going through a transition. And still, when you've got 8 other men injured as well, it don't help. Right, Chuameka, Lavia, James, Chilwell, Trevor Chalobah, Fofana, Balashil, Nkuku when he was injured. Who else got injured as well in the midfield? I'm missing someone.
Yeah, but Wolf, I hear that. What I don't want to hear injuries, yeah. All I want to hear is that, you know what, we lack experience, because
yeah, that's true. We do.
Ultimately, that's what it boils down to. You've got players in your team, yeah, that, you know, just lack experience at the moment. You know, like, yeah, you've got the Mudriks, even though Mudriks has started to look a bit better, you know, you've got like the Action Jackson up front, you know. He's never played in this league before, you know, but he's still got what, 7, 8 goals or whatever already, you know. So you've got decent players, you know what I mean? It's just that you just have to, yeah, that's right. You're just lacking the experience. But what I'm gonna say tomorrow, I think tomorrow, yeah, if you win tomorrow, that's gonna be a good result, and that kind of like pushes you up the table a piece. But if you win tomorrow, that pushes you up the table, isn't it? To like what, ninth?
No, we don't. No,
What?
we don't because we don't go ahead because Thingy is on 26 points.
Who's on 26?
We're on 22, so the best we do, we go a point behind. I think
it's
Brighton. I think it's Brighton, isn't it? We'll be a point behind Brighton.
Yeah, you need. I think you need to win tomorrow, man. You definitely
we need to win every game we play. We're Chelsea Football Club, but there's what we're expected to do, and there's actual expectations of what you see in front of you. I agree with Metal Face Doom said there about we spent so much on kids, but again, this is where the difference between the two projects are in terms of Brohy's project is you think long term. Abramovich is project was you think short term and by any means necessary by spending whatever you need to. But the thing is, like with the Abramovich model, it's unsustainable because obviously we've been getting in trouble, and there's still better. Everyone's talking like, "Oh, we're going to get 5 points and trophies are going to get taken." You've heard that yourself. So,
let me ask you something though, because we're going a bit off topic in terms of.
It's just about Chelsea, but yeah, go on. What do you want to say?
No, but I want to really talk about this game tomorrow because you're doing a watch along tomorrow, aren't you? The game starts at 1 o'clock, isn't it? Tomorrow, isn't it? It's a 1 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to join you as well on that game as well, if you don't mind.
1 o'clock. Yeah.
Where do you think Chelsea can really hurt Wolves tomorrow?
Widen through the centre.
Yeah.
Because I'm not being funny. I do think once we get them going, we do have one of the best group of wingers in the league. Because we've got more
as well. Because you've got quite a tall team as well with Badiashile and.
Well, I'm not being funny. That's the one thing about we got loads of options. I know it sounds dumb, even though they lack experience.
It don't sound dumb. It don't sound dumb at all.
But we do have lots of options. Broja can be physical and powerful.
Yeah,
Jackson can be know-how and quick. Mudryk can beat a man, be a bit wavy with his dribbling. Obviously,
Sterling as well. You got Sterling as well.
Palmer. And Kuka's going to take. Enzo's a good technical player. I think he struggled a little bit recently. I think Cancelo's picked up a lot though in terms of his consistency. He's looking more solid. I know a lot of people, he's 100 minutes. No, but if you actually look at what he does, his job is to be consistent, not make mistakes, and like do his job. And that's exactly what he's doing.
The dirty work, isn't it? Cancelo supposed to, mop up and do, the dirty
man. He does. Yeah, he does the dirty work basically. So
I wouldn't be surprised as well, if some of your players, are playing with slight little knocks, because you never hear about these things. Sometimes players have got slight little knocks. And against Everton, I think you guys were like kind of unfortunate.
I think we were tired.
I think it was unfortunate because you had so many chances. Yeah, it's just that you just didn't bury them, and this is what happens, isn't it? Once you don't, you got another goalkeeper. I want to touch on. Yes, he was in the
Cup.
Great save for the penalty. maybe he might make a difference to your defense as well, because he looks better than
Well, I think Shield looks good as well since he's come back. To be fair,
Adishaw's. He's solid. We know he's a good player, but the keeper, I think he might keep out. He might keep what's his face out? What's the other guy's face? Is it Sanchez?
Oh, you mean
Petrovic?
the goalkeeper? Yeah, Sanchez.
Yeah, I think Petrovic might have a running goal. You know, I think he's got a chance.
Hang on, because I'm not sure because we've been rotating a lot of goalkeepers recently. Yeah, it was Petrovic. Yeah, it was Dordy Petrovic.
Yeah. I thought he done decent. I thought he was decent the other day. So maybe he keeps his place tomorrow as well. But yeah, if we can just move on, I think to Newcastle and Luton now. I think that's the last game we're going to cover, and then
just to quickly break it, but in Cuckoo's not proven yet. We're gonna have to see what he does. But
Metal Face is saying a lot of stuff, you know. Metal Face, you can jump on if you want for 5 minutes, bro. It's up to you.
Well, if anyone wants to jump on if they can, but I think it's one of those ones where everyone's just being interactive today because I think a lot of the other content creators, because they've all had mixed days, everyone's gone off and done their own thing. Because
but you lot haven't played yet, so
yeah, we haven't played.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's just quickly go back over the Arsenal game because we haven't even spoken about the Arsenal game yet.
Oh, we haven't even touched it, have we? We didn't touch it, have we?
No, hang on. Do me a favor. I'm being called to start the convo. I'll just be 1 minute. I'm just being called.
Okay, so yeah, we had a watch along earlier. Arsenal game, man. I thought that was a good game. I thought it was end to end. Both teams lacked quality in the final third. Arsenal scored pretty much after about, was it 15, 20 minutes or something like that? Who scored again? Do you know what? My memory's like a fish. I'm actually forgetting already who bloody scored. Who scored for us again? I've already forgotten who scored. Oh yeah, sorry, it was a set piece. Whipped in, and Gabriel scored a nice little header. That was a good goal. We also had another chance as well where Martinelli, I think Saka broke through. And yeah, that's right, Crane. Saka broke through. And Saka really frustrates me, man. Saka is one of those players that is really frustrating me at the moment because he broke through, but he had to have about 70 touches, yeah? Do you know what I mean? Before he laid it off to Martinelli, and it wasn't an open goal. You know, the shot was hit and it was just past the post. So that was probably like the best chance we had in the first half. Even though we created like breakouts and counter attacks, we didn't really, you know, Liverpool quite defended our attacks quite well actually. We didn't really do much in their box. You know, Saka was a little bit too predictable. Martinelli was woeful today. Martinelli was absolutely woeful today. I thought he was terrible today.
No, he didn't have his best game, Martinelli.
Didn't have his best game. I thought
Odegaard.
Odegaard, man. Odegaard.
Yeah, go on.
Odegaard was playing for Liverpool today, mate. That's all I've got to say about him.
Oh, hang on. We have our first guest.
Yo, man, like he's in the building.
I see what. I'm glad you have it because we touched on the Forest game, but I'm going to ask you about that in a minute. So please, Bantz, finish what you're going to say about the Arsenal game. And I'm going to ask you about the Arsenal game as well. Yeah.
So do you know what? To break down everything, I just think that.
Big up Fuzzy. If you want to jump on, brother, the link is in the chat. If you want to
No, listen, Fuzzy needs to jump on because he needs to answer.
I don't mind going for half an hour extra, but I'm not going to go for too much longer because obviously
I need to hear from Fuzzy today. Don't worry about Arsenal. I need to hear from Fuzzy today.
Yeah, if he comes on,
you just want to hear from people that are low, don't you?
No.
They've had shitter days than you, so you just want to hear their misery, don't you? You're an evil man, Bantz.
He's evil, man. He's like, you know, oh man, I can get these, you know, these people are really low in the minute.
DJ Chris says, Fuzzy, you're alive.
It's great content, man. Anyway, just to wrap it up, anyway, because we had a watch along with the guys earlier. I didn't think we played very well today. I didn't think it was our best game today, but we escaped with a point. Liverpool were possibly the better team. Yeah, they were the better team. You know, too right. They're at home. You know, they have to beat the team at the top of the league. Yeah, and obviously we've got history. You know, not winning there since 2012. So last two draws at Anfield. We've beaten them at home as well. So we haven't lost in 3 against them. So in fairness, that's not bad. It's not a bad record. We're at the top of the league, and that's all I've got to say about Arsenal. That's all I've got to say. There's no more to say.
Let me quickly add my 2 pence in, then I'm going to quickly ask for Yeti's 2 pence. Can I ask you a question now? Just to flip this, I know a lot of Arsenal fans will be disappointed that they haven't taken all 3 points at Anfield today, but let me just propose this. Say if you guys take a point off of them at Anfield today, but later on in the Emirates, when they come play you guys, I'm not sure if it was April. I can't remember when you guys play Liverpool at home. But what if you beat them at home and it turns out that from Liverpool this season you take 4 points? Would you say that would be an improvement when it just comes to your head-to-heads with Liverpool? Would you take that?
Is that a question to me? Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, you're the Arsenal fan.
Oh, sorry, man. No. I've just got Onome's number in it, so I'm a little bit.
All right. Well, text Onome and ask him if he still wants to come on as well, if you wish.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Oh, there we go. Oh my God. Oh my! man. That made me kick my camera. Leave it on there, Fuzzy. Leave it on there. Here you go. Nah. Drum roll, please.
Is he joining?
Christmas turkeys, I swear, Manchester United. A bunch of Christmas turkeys, absolutely cooked.
Wait, Fuzzy.
That is funny.
Is this the first time you shove your head up a turkey?
That is funny, man.
No.
Don't ask him what he does with turkeys. We don't want to know those kind of things right now. This is not American Pie, bro.
This is a bit of advertisement.
That's awesome.
Advertisement. Well, first of all, like the chat said, you're alive. Welcome. Second thing is, tell me what happened with your team today, bro.
Well, I suppose it's not as like a prolonged misery kind of thing, as I didn't watch it live. Because working whilst the game was going on,
man.
seeing those highlights. To be fair to West Ham, I mean, both goals are well taken. The first goal was very, very well executed.
Like how you took that turkey.
You know the second goal. Yeah, Fuzzy. I watched the whole game. Fuzzy, and you know what? One thing I don't want to hear is fans like slagging Kobe Mano for that mistake, because he's still a youngster.
The thing is, I do give players like that the benefit of the doubt, and I mean, to be fair, I mean the guy didn't put a single foot wrong against Liverpool, and then you go into a game like this, it's like sometimes as a young player you sort of let your concentration slip for a half a second, and sometimes that's just all you need. And he trusted that his first touch would be good, but not as well executed. But you know what, fair play. I mean, he didn't really do anything else wrong, barring that. I think it's just that one moment, but because it led to a goal, there's going to be a lot of people that'll be out on witch hunts for him, I think. So,
yeah, exactly.
But who was at fault?
I mean, we might as well. Well, actually, no, I've got to blame McTominay. I'll blame him for everything.
You're going to blame the McTominay?
Yeah,
no way.
Screw him.
What you're talking about? Over the last 2 months, I've been a metal organism for you.
There we go.
I'm not the player. They sent me back in time to protect you.
The only thing that I know how to do,
you know what I mean?
Like, it's got goals for Scotland.
You know what I mean? Come with
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Arnie show.
You know what I mean? Can you imagine if we did that, like a full panel of Arnie's? Listen to me.
Get the
you listen to me.
Come with me if you
want
to live.
Yeah. But Fuzzy, I gotta ask you. I know you've been upset with this for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and someone said, by the way, in the chat, that's poultry in motion. What you did with that?
That was so funny.
No, actually, I come out with that one, but I just said it was in the chat in case it was crap. That was more
man,
cooked.
so people are copying you, man. What the fuck?
As long as you've not fisted it and garroted it or anything like that. Like,
Oh,
oh look, here we go. He's got the gangster hat now.
Oh
Look.
man, he's got the wolf's testicle as well. Not the wolf's testicle, the sheep's testicle. Sorry.
Now you look like Ten Hag's little helper.
He needs a lot more than little helpers. He needs a lot more than little helpers. He needs all the help he can get.
Everyone's just laughing in the chat. To be fair,
I just want to know one thing: are you Ten Hag out, or you still want him in?
I'm not even. To be honest, I'm not really Ten Hag in or Ten Hag out. It's like I know what the implications would be if we do sack Ten Hag, but it's like if he sacks himself, I can't sit here and say, oh, it's all only the players. For what? To be fair, the players are the biggest problem at the club. But with some of your decisions, like with your team selection today, actions like that warrant you going towards a sacking. Like it all contributes. And
who's that guy who played at centre back? K Barlow or Kambala or whatever his name is?
Kambwala or something.
Yeah, it's something weird. Random centre back.
That's Deirdre in the defence.
Deirdre Barlow.
Yeah, man, it's not good. Just it's random.
But can I ask you a question, right? Where do you assuming you guys stuck, hang on, it's cooked the fuzzy throw. I hear problems with the poultry at Old Trafford. Yeah, just like the stadium.
Oh yeah.
I covered that. I covered that in the match preview. Honestly, it cracked me up.
They got one
like
Man
United. They're pissed. They're mad. They want vengeance. They're set out to get their 5 out of 5 star food hygiene rating once again. Because
is that what that was about? Is that what that was about? Is that what this is about? Like the Man United restaurant getting a 5-star food rating?
Well, I mean, they're pissed that they've been slapped with a 1 out of 5 food hygiene rating.
Yeah, 1 out of 5, mate. 1 out of 5.
Oh, isn't it a shame? And that's piss poor, just like your stadium, because it leaks piss.
Ooh.
No, but it does. No, think about but that's not a dig.
It's a dig if I disagree with it. I don't. I completely agree with it. I mean, if you're lucky, it's piss. If you're unlucky, it's a rat.
Wait, rats haven't been dropping down from the rafters onto fans' heads, have they?
Well, there have been rat problems at Old Trafford plenty of times.
Plenty in the boardroom.
Yeah, now they're on the pitch.
Yeah,
on the pitch. In the boardroom,
we've got a rat infestation right now. Get the exterminator out.
How is the Radcliffe takeover going?
God only knows where that is yet. Literally, mate. Ratcliffe. It's just we're all just wondering. We're all just wondering what is actually going on.
Hang on, one second. You gave the multiple people in a corporate suit. Uncooked. I know.
Salmonella, mate.
Yeah, good. I hope it poisoned the rich bastards. I hope it poisoned them all. I don't like what they've done with my club, even if it is a bit piss poor. Like, yeah, go on. Sorry, Fuzzy.
Yeah, Sergeant Ratcliffe, whatever is happening there. I mean, we're supposedly getting more to the point of people putting out less and less stories of like peddling this, like pushing this takeover announcement thing backwards and backwards and backwards. I think there's more and more people starting to say, no, we are literally now on the very eve of it happening. God only knows when they announce it, why they've decided to announce it as late as they have, when supposedly they've all the regulations, all of that sort of stuff, all the final details, supposedly they've had agreed for a very long time. So you sort of have to ask the question, well, why is it taking you so long then?
We got the Queen in the house.
Big up, Flossie.
Big up. So with this loss today, how's the feeling? How's the feeling around Old Trafford at the moment? Are they? I'm not going to say optimistic, but do they think? Because the next game, I think they got Villa, isn't it? Villa at home on Boxing Day. So where do you see where do you see your season, Fuzzy? Where do you see yourself? Because you're one of those teams that, and I was saying to Wolfie earlier that you're just unpredictable, you know, because 1 minute you'll be in fourth, and then next minute you're just dropped down to eighth. It's just crazy. It's crazy. It's just give us a little bit of how you're feeling at the moment in terms of United.
Well, I mean, it's like in the match reaction thing stream that I did. It's like,
oh, look who it is.
I'm sort of caring a little bit less now. Like,
Oh no, look at it. I tell you what, it's
One
funny
of
and the
those-
Man United fans
Is
and
it
the
back
Man
against the
City
wall?
fans just laughing.
yeah,
Hang on a
One of
minute.
those here
Wait,
for
on a
war.
minute. Wait. Yeah,
One of those,
minute.
one of those here for war.
Yeah, no. I know he's here for war. That's why I asked
Not
him
at
to hold on
all.
a minute.
Not at all.
Go on, Fuzzy.
yeah. In terms of the mood, I'm sort of past caring right now. Like it's like you build, you get a game where it's like, we're not going to win this. It's not going to happen yet. Write it off completely. We actually put the better performances in those games.
Yeah,
and then you get the easier games. It's like, well, based off of that, shouldn't it make sense to say that we should be able to do more of the same or something along those lines in the next game? And then it's like, they'll find new ways to absolutely just screw the pooch and really like bury you 6 feet under. So it's like you get that, and it's not like once or twice this season. It's practically every other week it happens. After every single result that's positive, you go to a negative. And it's such a seesaw effect. It's so incredibly difficult to predict what United's going to do. But it's like, it's also incredibly difficult to actually know what you should feel for United. Because if you say, well, this is pathetic, it's stupid, and you're sticking, fixed negative, United will go on and start doing wonders. And you're just like, oh, but I've stuck to my guns here. But if you go super ultra positive, they'll then start letting you down every other week. And it's just like, but yeah, that's not the point of me supporting this team. Like, it's like, I want as a prerequisite to know my team. I can actually back my team to win every game they go into. I can't back this team for anything. I can't back it for anything. So, and I think the mood for the fan base in general, I think there's just a lot of sick and tired people. I know a lot of fans are like, well, look, Ten Hag's a fraud. Like, that's it. That the buck stops with him. A lot of people now. Ten Hag, he's making all sorts of errors and mistakes with his managerial position, putting himself in compromised situations where a lot of what we say, oh, the reason we lost today's game is because of XYZ. This game is a prime example where the manager takes more blame in respects to the result than anybody else on the football pitch. But it's like, is it only ever Ten Hag? Is it only ever the manager? Based off of the past 10 years? Not really.
No, it's not. You can't blame him for everything. He's just he's like Poch. He's just trying to make the best of what is a very bad situation, in the sense of he's been given a Lego set.
To be fair, I mean, you say make the best of a bad situation. I always believe that a manager should do that, and to various extents, I don't believe that some managers actually help themselves too much. And I think with a game like today, Ten Hag, if he makes the best out of a bad situation, he's keeping most of that Liverpool team the same, but looking ways to strengthen it rather than completely shifting a balance of a midfield, compromising it and exposing a defence with a debutant starter for a centre back. I'm pretty sure the last time we did that at West Ham United away was when Scott McTominay started at centre back, and we lost that game 3-1 under Mourinho.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you go from a Liverpool team like that did well, solidly, structurally, defensively, to this game where you open it up? Your centre back change, you're kind of forced into, because supposedly Varane's missed this game, or was not in the squad due to illness. Thanks Martial and Rashford for that, because they only just recovered from their illnesses. So you think if you're going to go with an inexperienced centre back in your team, you think let's give them as much insurance as possible and secure that midfield partnership just in front of them, so you don't expose all of your centre backs to free runners through the middle. That's Scott McTominay, Mr. Ghost, decides, you know what, I'm going to go and disappear again. So Mainu is the only midfielder you have in that situation anymore.
That's the problem. That's the problem that Arsenal had against Liverpool earlier, when Arsenal were getting overrun in the midfield so much, because quite often, because obviously, and we were talking about this earlier about certain Arsenals, because they play a lot of inverted positions, how Kai Havertz would move from the centre to the left, and how Zinchenko would vacate that space. Quite often, the only person to sit there in the middle and compete is Rice, and you have the similar problem where people have a go at Casemiro and Amrabat for put in a similar position, because obviously Bruno goes up the pitch, Scott McTominay goes up the pitch, and he's left kind of like on their own. And no matter how hard you try it, one player can't cover 5 of your opposition attacking players. And the thing is,
I'll tell you what, I'm interested to know this. Casemiro's training again. He's not too far away from getting back into matchday squad, so I'm interested to know if Ten Hag survives long enough and he has Casemiro, Amrabat, Mainu all available. If Scott McTominay still gets into that midfield, I'm saying it right now, that guy wants to get sacked. He absolutely is desperate to get sacked. Nobody in a sound of mind sees midfield options to providing stability and security there when your team is shipping goals for fun, to then decide, well, the one thing that I know factually has not worked for me, it's not worked for Ollie, it's not worked for Mourinho. The 3 managers, this has not worked in sticking McTominay into that midfield. But I'm going to do it anyway.
You got no one else, though,
makes sense.
Wolf. Yeah. Let's
Ericsson's back there.
Do you have anything to say on Man United at the moment?
Well, I'm going to ask him about Forest. Then I'll come to Anya.
Well, I mean, where Man United's concerned, I'm not quite sure where they're going, to be honest. I don't think they know where they're going either. For me, you need to dump Bruno. I don't think Bruno's the man, to be honest with you. I know I keep hearing that Bruno's this man, but I just don't see it. Højlund, the commentators are saying that, he hasn't scored in so many games. You're not giving him anything. So, a striker needs some kind of distribution to score. Whether it's Haaland, whether it's Collymore, whatever, you need some kind of distribution to score. If you're not going to give him the ball, he ain't going to score.
Regulars, big up.
So, at the end of the day, I don't know what you guys are doing. I don't know whether Ten Hag wants to get fired or whether he don't want to walk. I mean, if he actually sort of like resigns, then does he get like a payoff or whatever? Or if he gets sacked or anything, I don't know. Is he waiting for that?
Well, I mean, if you get sacked, it's cutting your contract short so you do get payouts. But yeah, I mean, I think it's when the job becomes a bit too toxic from the manager's perspective that he's sort of, you can see when a manager goes onto autopilot in a job position. Your vacant expression just, yes, again.
I think the best thing you've got at the moment is Garnacho.
Well,
He's not the only one that was actually trying to actually get there. And I didn't watch all the game because I found it quite fucking boring. So I actually went on playing a game and I could hear it in the background and stuff like that. And then Bowen scores and then, and it just all goes to shit there. But I didn't really, even when I was watching it, I didn't really see a great deal from you lot, to be fair.
Well, I mean, Garnacho had probably the best chance from United side to actually score a goal.
Yeah, he did.
And to be honest, I mean, those chances, you'd look at that chance and you think he's got to score that. That's the thing. He's had quite a few chances like that this season that he's squandered. You see him score worldy bicycle kicks.
He's another young player. You can't put it all onto him. Like Mainu.
Yeah, exactly. He's a youngster as well. Anyway, Onome, what obviously we're going to talk about your World Club Cup later on. Congratulations. But chime into this Man United discussion because I've got two teams here, total opposites at the moment. Now, one's down in the dumps, like that Eddie Murphy. What's that movie where that film?
Trading Places.
Trading Places.
It
just seems like that at the moment. City are on top of their game at the moment, top of the world. And Man United are down in the dumps. What have you got to say about Man United, Onome?
I think they've lost the culture of the club, to be honest. They got no direction in terms of the types of players that fits the system. It just seems like anybody that's available that is a footballer, that is sort of like a name in football, let's sign him. Do you know what I mean? The Casemiro signing. Do you know what I mean? He did great for that one season. The Ronaldo signing. Do you know what I mean? Why did they sign him back and stuff? And I mean, just for fans' sake and all that kind of stuff. That kind of went. Do you know what I mean? The direction right now is not great. And when you talk about Garnacho, the only person they can rely on is an 18-year-old who's supposed to be on a Christmas break right now. Remember when Ronaldo first broke in? Ferguson didn't let him play during Christmas. He gave him a little break during Christmas. That's how Ferguson. Because like, I'm not going to rely on an 18-year-old. I mean, go on your little break, have a little Christmas. We're not going to throw you into the thick end of things just yet. So if you're relying on just the Garnacho of this world, it's bad. We got youngsters in our team, but we don't play them regularly. Rico Lewis, we know he's capable of playing and stuff, but there are games where you don't play him. You might not see Rico Lewis play for like 3 weeks, 3-4 games for like a month. Rico Lewis might not get on the pitch, but then he starts a game. And so, do you know what I mean? So it's just different philosophy and just different. I don't understand. There's just certain players in teams right now that I don't understand. Why are they still there? How are they still there? Right? I touch on Arsenal, for example. I'm not coming for you guys. I touch on Arsenal, for example. The midweek game you played in the Champions League, we played a couple of youngsters, right, in our midweek game because we qualified already, right? You had a chance to put Nwaneri on and a couple of players, but I still saw Cedric and I still saw El Neni, whatever his name is, on that team. And I'm like, why are these players still there? So you go to Man United, for example, and you look at this team and you go, why are these players? Why is the same players still there? Why on earth has Johnny Evans gone all over the world, left United years ago, gone all over the world, come back to United, and he's actually a starter? Johnny Evans came back to United to literally just put his big jacket on, get his coaching badges, get the tea and coffee in his hand, and sit on the bench. But all of a sudden, he's a starter for the Manchester Derby. He's a starter. I will never understand how backwards they have gone.
Is the same as Leicester's 2019.
They have gone so backwards. 1 minute it's like Maguire needs to leave, Maguire must leave, and now it's like Maguire is the best player. They've gone so backwards. Like this manager that signed a few players, we don't actually get to see his players that he signed play. All we're seeing is the players from the past. Him still using them. Do you know what I mean? So all the players that he signed, they're either not performing or not available to play, and he's gone back to everything. At one point, he wanted McTominay nowhere near that first team. I want McTominay out. All of a sudden, McTominay. So this is the problem you have with that, right? Where our team, for example, we are actually progressing. So we win a cup and we're still signing competition. So you think, oh, Grealish, you feel he's comfortable right now? Oh, here comes Doku. Do you know what I mean? So we're progressing things, right? Instead of we're adding to what we have, not just, or take away, adding to what we have. And if you see the best team right now, the best teams right now, they have a core of players that have been there for 6-7 years, that understand the philosophy. Pep Guardiola said it one time. He said, I only have to shrug my shoulders and blink to Bernardo or Stones or Kevin De Bruyne, for example, and they know exactly what I mean. That's because these players have been there for so long. And now we've got the next crop of players who are going to be there for that long as well, learning the philosophy of these players. When these players move on, those players are coming in. So you see the wingers and the youngsters are coming in, for example. The same philosophy and the same culture runs through the entire club. I go back to when I was playing in the youth team, right? When we used to play against Arsenal youth team, Arsenal used to be in Highbury. Every training pitch at Arsenal was the same dimension as Highbury. That is a culture of a club. That's what we mean by a culture of a club. So when these players are playing in the youth team, it's the same dimension. So when they appear for the first team, the team talk to them is just the same pitch. It's just the same pitch. The same ranges of passes you have in the training pitches where you was playing. That's what we have here. It's just the same things. The same culture, the same way they all play.
Ollie, and Fuzzy, I want to ask you both this because you're both the Manchester fans. Would you agree, out of all these players, that the Ten Hag signings, that on this post it says Onana's been a flop, Amrabat's been a flop, Mount's been a flop, Anthony's been a flop, Højlund's been a flop. Would you agree that that's all true? As certain people, like for example Højlund and Amrabat, not been given a chance yet? Because I agree that maybe okay, I know about Mason Mount. You don't have to tell me about Mason Mount. I know about Mason Mount, but Onana, maybe you can get more out of him.
I'll tell you what, I mean, Amrabat's been too in and out of the team. He's not been consistently in the team for long enough to really say that he's definitely not been anywhere near good enough. I think give him the rest of the season to really see just how he ends the season. And based off of the kind of players that he's got to play with in that team, rather than sort of chopping and changing every other game. Højlund, again, I mean, a graveyard shift. We speak about this with all of the strikers. We never really see just how good they are if they're not getting service from most games. So it's harder to say that a striker is either successful or has failed if they're only getting 2 or 3 shots, no non-clear cut attempts per game, or as I've labelled it, a graveyard shift. It's I think it needs to see the situation improve to really see just how good these players can be, but whether that actually happens is anybody's guess. It was a solid performance, but we didn't score.
Quick one.
Ten Hag, with that comment right there, Ten Hag, please go fuck yourself. Yeah, it was not a good performance. Sit down.
Can I just quickly chime in with something? Yeah. Now, one of the problems I have is that a lot of these, I'm gonna call them bums at United, are on big wages. Players like Martial, Rashford. They're going on like, a little bit like Saka as well. Yeah, like they've had one good season now, and they think, yeah, I'm the bomb. I'm just gonna do whatever I want. One thing I have to say, Fuzzy, yeah. Now I know Højlund's young, but he came in as a £70 million striker. Yeah. Now you can talk about 2-3 chances and stuff, yeah, but I'm expecting him to be bagging some of those chances. And how many games has he played now? He's played like 13, 14 games, and he still hasn't scored. That's 17 million.
He's done well in the Champions League, but that counts for naught because we finished rock bottom, last place. So counts for naught. But I mean, the Premier League is a bit of a hoodoo thing by the looks of it.
For 70 mil, you are expecting you're expecting a bit more. You got Alvarez, yeah, for example, yeah. Now I know City create chances and stuff like that as well, but come on now, yeah. There's a difference in classes with forwards, man. And Alvarez didn't cost that much, did he? He didn't cost 7 million.
15 million we're going for.
15, 1-5.
Yeah.
There you go. 15
million. I mean, obviously, everybody talk about City signing these days and stuff, but there's a lot of even Akanji was 50 million. But just going back to Højlund, for example, right? I always back strikers to the most because I was I played that position. I always I try to anyway. I would say obviously he was overpriced in terms of that 70 million, but I would also say that if you put a Højlund in a Man City team, I bet you he scores goals.
He's cooking me.
I bet you he scores goals.
He's doing a whole
so what I'm saying is the pattern of play. There's no pattern of play at United. There's no particular pattern of play at the rate at which you create chances. You see how City creates the chances. Look at yesterday's game, Alvarez to Phil Foden. That there's a pattern of play. There's a way we create chances, right? The way to stop us is stop Like, you need to stop us 3 or 4 moves ahead of play, because I can see the chances we're about to create, because I know our pattern of play. I can see that, okay, he's going to pass it, he's going to pass it, he's going to go on the overlap or underlap, he's going to cross it, someone's going to make near post run, he's going to score, right? But there's no particular pattern of play at United. They just playing, and this comes with the signings of, they're not signing the right players to fit a particular system, a particular pattern of play. You got Anthony for 89 million, right? He does not do anything for me. Do you know what I mean? It's so mismanaged, it's unreal. Like, you got Sancho's situation, or Sancho needs to leave. It just seems like he's fighting the wrong battles at United. He needs to be fighting his battles on the pitch rather than trying to be this disciplinarian and being this tough manager that you lot can't mess with me. We didn't bring you here, or they didn't bring you here for be the strict teacher, the African teacher that gets a cane and walks around the classroom and, oh, stop making noise. No, we brought you here for your brain to come and actually sort these problems out. You're coming in and you're fighting the wrong battles. You're banning this one, he's banned, and he's banned. You're fired and you're fired. You need to get these players together and find your best team and find your best formation. Nobody knows what the pattern of play United is. Like, you can't. Could you tell me how you guys create chances? You know what I mean? Because when we're passing the ball, I know why we're passing the ball. I know the reason why we're passing the ball. It's like a chess piece, like a draft piece. We're moving players into position, getting ready to strike. And then before you know it, Kyle Walker's making that overlap run. Rodri's playing that ball. He's cutting it back. Bang, is a goal. There is patterns of play. So Højlund is not scoring goals because there's no pattern of play at United. It's not because
it's individual. Purple is very individual and moments.
Guys, just one more thing, guys. I've got to go. So I've got other things to do. So big up to everyone. Merry Christmas to all of you. Big up to everyone who's always been on my streams. And take care. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
We was gonna cook Yeti as well about Forest as well. So you got.
That's why he left.
I've got to go intense. I just wanted to just touch on this on City really quickly, because obviously I was commenting on the show earlier on. Right, what we have is a situation where it is possible, and we are due an off season. Right, it's going to happen. We're not going to win it every year. I don't expect to win every year, and I also don't expect to be ridiculed and criticized for when it comes at the year that we didn't win it. Right, but at the same time, it's almost like, okay, take for example, this was going to be our off year. Nobody is actually stepping up to say we're going to take it this year. You're still leaving the door open for us to believe that, all right, if humans don't want it, we'll just take it again then.
Yeah.
Because that's what I said earlier on when I said that's a great result for us. And Tony was arguing, I'm like, it's a great result for us because when we win our game in hand, we'll come within 3 points. So you're talking at Christmas. At Christmas, City is within 3 points. In the next 2 games, we're going to have Doku and Haaland back. De Bruyne is already back and is going to be getting small minutes. So in the next 3 games, expect De Bruyne's minutes to build up, right? And he'll be ready to start from the 4th game. So we're going to have a full squad back, right? We just went to the World Club Cup now, and Alvarez has got a couple of goals
as well.
Confidence and so. I don't believe we're going to sign players in January. That's not generally how we do business and sign. It's significant.
You've got Nunes.
We got Nunes and Kovacic, who are still learning the City way and going to come into their own. I've seen Nunes play a couple of times. You can see that Nunes understands. Nunes understands a little bit because he's created a couple of the chances that we create. He's done that overlap run. He's created a couple of the chances. So you're leaving the crack open, right? Liverpool's still got to play Arsenal in the next couple of weeks again now. You're leaving the crack open. So when we do get these players back, right, and obviously our home is a fortress, as you know, right? Yeah. Yes, there's been a couple of draws and stuff, but this little break here now has actually given us the confidence that we need to start to build momentum, to start to say, okay,
of course you're gonna get. You've won
a trophy. So where are we in the league? We're thinking we're 3 points behind. Nobody's really running away with it. These guys don't want to take it and stuff. All right, we'll just do what we do then. And you cannot rule City out. Football Bantz, I heard you earlier on. No, Football Bantz, I heard you when you said, I'm not going to rule City out. I don't care what you guys say. You cannot, in your rightful mind, rule out a team that has won it 5 years out of the last 6, and nobody has actually run away with it. At one point this season, I expected Liverpool to be about 10 points above us right now, because the way the fixture was, if Liverpool won the last 2 games, I think there was one they drew, and then obviously to Arsenal again now. They won the last 2 games. They would have actually created a gap. The only time you can sort of like put fear, not even fear, we don't even fear it, but the only time you can kind of say, okay, we can then give up and say, you know what, it is our off year. Do you understand? So, but if we're thinking it's our off year already before, we're not thinking it anymore, because like, well, we want to have an off year, but nobody's really taking it. So we'll just do what we do.
You still want a FIFA World Cup, World Club Cup, yeah, but that's an off year as well. So you know what I mean? It's just like
it's an off year for all the trophies in this calendar year. We won the lot. It's an off year. Like
you can still win the FA Cup, you can still win the league. You know,
we're still in all the competitions.
Well. That's what I mean.
The thing with the Champions League is over 2 legs. Can you really see anyone beating us over 2 legs? Because we have time to actually negotiate our way over 2 legs. And the advantage of actually winning the group is you go away first and then come home. So you can forget Copenhagen. That's done and dusted, right? You can forget that.
The Champions League is not what we're talking about, because the Champions League is something. I'm not being funny. You can make predictions, but now it is going from the knockout stage to the group stage. It won't resume until February anyway.
February.
Those fixtures are going to come.
The Champions League for me is not relevant at the moment, because by the time the Champions League comes around again, your team could be either in a significantly better or worse position than what they are now. So we'll just concentrate.
But in terms of the league, right? I'm looking at the table every week, and I see situations where I'm thinking, okay, we could be 7, 8, 9, 10 points behind now, but we're still only winning our game. We're still only 3 points behind. And Arsenal still got to come to the Etihad to play.
Can I say something?
Rosie, he's a grown man, but we all keep in contact with each other. And if there was something wrong, I think he's just feeling poor because he's had a bit of a rough night's rest after drinking a bit. I think he's fine. I will say that, big up that, because she's raising concern, and I appreciate that. He's cool. If he needed us, he would tell us. He's a big boy. He's a grown man, but big up to that. Big love to that, Rosie. By the way, big up to that comment.
Can I just say something quickly about the Man City situation?
Yes.
What I really want to say about this situation is, I'm just looking at February and March for Man City, because that's when they usually come alive, isn't it? Business end of the season, that's when them men come into their own. But what I would say about the points gap as well, you saw us last season, yeah? We had that points gap, and we was just looking behind our back in it, like, you know, seeing the Sharks coming, yeah? So I know this is going to sound crazy, but I prefer it if the teams are all tight together this season, because we've got the Villas, we've got the Arsenals, we've got the Liverpools, we've got the Cities. Everyone's fighting this season, and we know, at some point, City are gonna just take the reign and say, okay, if you man ain't doing nothing, we're gonna go in front. But that's the Premier League, innit? Let's make it interesting this season, innit? Whether you win it or not, that's, we know you're the best team in the world, yeah. But I think it's going to be a lot more closer this season than we all think. I don't think it's going to be like we're just going to just. So what's that?
No, but the thing is, every season that we've won it, we've never actually just won it by so many points.
You come from behind.
It's been last day victories. Do you know what I mean? It's been we won it on the last day of the season. We won the league on the last day of the season 3 times now. So it's never been a clear, foregone conclusion. Aguero's season, Gundogan's season. Do you know what I mean? Last day of the season, we've won the league. So it's gone right down to the wire most of the time. So I never expect us to just go bang, 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 bang. Like, that's not how it works. Do you know what I mean? That's not how football works. There's so many things during the season that contributes. There's so many, you know what I mean? We got so many games that we play, right? That contributes to what we do, and it might be a big game during the midweek, and all that stuff. But there's one point I wanted to raise, I wanted to ask you guys, right? And I said this to someone, right? With this new
anyone who wants to join,
what's it called? Super League situation, right?
Yeah, I brought that up the other day.
I just got a vision the other day, right? Not a vision, but I just thought to myself the other day, I was like, okay, with this Super League situation, they're talking about the games being played in midweek, right? Do you remember, football changes all the time, and sometimes it even changes without us even knowing, right? Before, it used to be first team, reserve team, and then you go youth team, right? They scrapped the reserve team, and it's now under 23s, right? It's no longer reserve team. So a lot of the times, the first team players, when they recover from injuries and stuff like, they can't actually play in the reserves, in the under 23s kind of thing. So they kind of left to their own devices to get fit and come back into the fold behind closed door games and stuff. I just thought to myself, right, and it might sound funny, but could we have a situation where this 115 charges situation, right, they throw the book at City and say, you're guilty, blah, 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 da, 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 da. You're getting this and you're getting that, you're getting that. Could you have a situation where the owners of City could get pissed off and say, you know what, we'll join the Super League, right, and we use the Premier League as a reserve team? We already won it 6 times or 7 times in the last how many years anyway? Because what it is like, and the thing is, you can't just ridicule and say, nah, that's not going to happen, because it changes without us even knowing. They could turn around and say, you know what, we'll use the Premier League and feed, because there's been comments to say, oh yeah, City can actually win the league with the second team or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It could happen.
But wait. The problem is with the Super League, and this is where a lot of English fans have a problem with this, in the sense of, in England, unlike with most other countries in the world, if you lose a certain degree of games, you get relegated from the division from above to below. We all know that. With the Super League, that eliminates that kind of threat.
No, the new format is changed. The new format is different. It's no longer permanent.
No. I know it's not permanent, but the reason why I'm bringing this up already is because the Champions League is already undergoing a similar phase next season anyway. In case you're not aware, if everyone doesn't know this is the last season that we have group stages as we know them, right? So next season, it becomes a league anyway. Now, the reason why the Super League's got brought up again, and Fuzzy mentioned, I believe in one of his streams the other day, is Florentino Perez. Now, we all know, or if anyone's been following football for over the last 20 years in Real Madrid, Florentino Perez will do everything he can to monopolize the market for Real Madrid. And that's why they've got in trouble a lot, and Barcelona have got in trouble a lot over the last few years over in Spain, because the big thing about them was the TV money being unfairly distributed. In terms of, if you remember, I think it was 50% of the TV revenue money went to Barcelona and Real Madrid only, is in 25% each, where the other 50% got spread around the other 18 teams. So they already had a monopoly in their own, regardless if you want to believe that the Real Madrid is funded by the government and Barcelona was funded by the Catalan. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But I've been watching Spanish football for so long, the Catalan royal family and all that jazz. It's crazy. So it's one of those ones where it's just them trying to build a bigger monopoly on the market than what they've got already. And because one thing about a lot of these sort of owners, would be a pisser, is the fact of they lose money a lot, because in terms of financial fair play, teams like Real Madrid, Chelsea, Man United, Man City, they haven't had the spending power they have in previous years in terms of the value for money, because of the way the market's been contained. The reason why the Premier League is how it is now is because the money spending in the Premier League is a lot more equal.
But the thing is, in terms of the spending, City's actually got it to the T now, where
so have Chelsea.
The youth team is what kind of balances the books for us, if that makes sense. So we can go and sign Evardio for 89 million, but guess what? We sold about 3 youth team players that amounted to 60 million. Do you know what I mean? So that actually balances the books for us a little bit. So that's why they focus so much on the youth team. There's so many youth team players being provided, like Kopama, obviously not a youth team player, the first team player, but Kopama came from the academy, was sold for 40 million. That's already half of what we paid for Vardy in the first place.
I'll tell you what, we got 15.
Do you know what I mean?
When you bought Nathan Ake, we got 15% of that, I think.
You see what I mean? So I feel
what I mean?
But in terms of this season, I can't see past us just because I can't see any team that is actually stepping up to say, we want this and we're going to get this and we're going to take this. The only two teams obviously in it right now is Liverpool and Arsenal, but Liverpool are that inconsistent that they're not the free-flowing Liverpool that challenged us years ago. Do you know what I mean? They'll go on.
Well, they have, okay, because this is the funny thing. I know a lot of people take the piss out of Spurs as well, but that's the thing. Chelsea, Spurs, and Man City, through means of whether they're tight asses or they're just abusing the system like we've been accused of, we find loopholes where we can tie the finances of our club into quite a big, nice structure anyway, because we've made about, just off academy players, Mount went for 60. I think Tomori went for, Mount went for 55, didn't he, Fuzz? So,
sorry, which player?
Mason Mount. How much did we sell him to you lot for?
Yeah, I think it's about like 55 million
55.
plus add-ons.
I think Tammy Abraham went to teams like he went to Roma for like 35 or 40. So like Man City, we have that where not only do we have even though I don't like him in terms of the way he handles the football, we have a business wise sense. He's got sense. He knows what he's doing, because I know obviously that a lot of people laugh at the 8-year contracts, but the thing is, they're smart about the outlay. When you look at everything that's been put towards the finance, a lot of the outlay for the contract will come over the next 8 years instead of over the next 2 or 3 like you would have with most contracts. So there's always a little bit of respite. And I'm not being funny. Have Man City got any players out on loan that are obligation buys at the end or compulsory buys?
No, we don't really run the loan markets per se. We just train the youth team players.
Chelsea have been doing that for years.
We don't do the loan market per se. We train the youth team players to a point where they either make it in the first team or you get sold. Do you know what I mean? The good ones. That's how we run it. You know what I mean? So you're either gonna come through and make it all the way through, or you're gonna get sold for a 20 million. Carlos Borges was one of the wingers that we sold that you guys never even saw him in the first team. He never even played any friendlies or anything like that. But he was actually one of the next ones, and even we was like, oh, why is he getting sold? But he was sold for like I think like 30 million or something in Holland. But back to my point to say, like this season, for example, where I'm thinking to myself, we're not great, we're not looking great or whatnot in some games or whatnot. We drew against Palace, but nobody is stepping up to say, right, we're going to blow you out of the water and we're going to take it. Liverpool are too inconsistent. Arsenal are kind of like, they don't want to get ahead too far because, and this is what I said last season. I said it's going to be a tricky season for Arsenal coming into this season because you've lost a big lead, right? So this season is a bit of a confusing one where you don't really know what position you want to put yourself. Do we chase? Do we go ahead? If we go ahead, do we go too far? Do we kind of stay close? Like it's so confusing. You don't even know where you want to put yourself. Like right now, Arsenal is playing a fixed. Like, it's almost like it seems to me like they're playing a fixture kind of. Oh, they're negotiating through fixtures. We need to win this one. We need to draw this one. We need to make sure we get something from this one or whatnot. So they're not free. It's like they're not completely free. Last season they were completely free. They were like, yeah, we're just winning games. We're gonna go. But this season you kind of see them like, oh, whoa, step back. Do you know what I mean? So it's like they don't really know how to handle it. But it comes with experience. Where you touched on the Bantz when you say City know how to do it. We know when we start to like, right, okay, guys. You know, and the reason why we're so slow to start and we kick on from February is because we've got all these fixtures to negotiate during the beginning of the season. We have to negotiate the FA Cup and this and the other. But when we get further on in the season, the games get less. And it's like, okay, these are the rest of the Premier League games left and the Champions League left. The FA Cup is 1 or 2 games in between. So you kind of we're not pinning ourselves into, we're playing this, and this. Where at the beginning of the season, fixtures are just coming from everywhere. Oh, there's Carling Cup. Oh, there's this cup. Oh, we've got to play this friendly. We've got to go to frigging Barcelona to play a charity friendly and this, that, and the other. But when it gets to that January onwards, it's like everything is set now. Champions League is coming back. You got 2 games in the Champions League, guys. Play those 2 games, we progress. You got 3-week break. And then you got the Premier League, we've got 16 more games left or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So that's where we kind of like set stone and say, right, let's go.
Let me ask you a question then quickly on there as we're talking about them. Which I'm probably going to say all of them, but which cup are you going to prioritize this season? Is it the league or is it the Champions League? Which one do you want most?
You know what? I think Pep, if you see Pep's beginning stages and beginning times, right, where he played his strongest team for every competition, and he won the Carling Cup so many times and stuff. And we don't prioritize the Carling Cup anymore. So I'm quite happy I'm quite happy for us to get out the Carling Cup. I'm like, yeah, come out of that real quickly. Unless he's ready to play kids and the kids want to actually progress, come out of the Carling Cup. We don't need that, right? I can't see us getting the treble this season. So I won't even think about the FA Cup, to be honest. I'm not even prioritizing the FA Cup. If we win the games, we win the games, but I'm not prioritizing the FA Cup. I personally just want us to start being a Real Madrid now, where we prioritize the league and the Champions League.
Yeah, that's what I said about the Perez
because
thing,
that's what Real Madrid does. Real Madrid prioritize the league and the Champions League. They don't care about Copa del Rey and anything else. It's the Champions League and the league. That's why that's the next progression I want to see us.
I've seen Bernat win the league by a mile in 2008, 2009. Van Nistelrooy, Raul, all them lot banging about 50, 60 goals between, and he got the sack because he did not win the Champions League. That's why Ancelotti keeps on getting the job. Because they bring him back for the European Cup.
You can win the league all you want for these teams, but it's the Champions League. They love the Champions League. You don't win the Champions League, you get the sack. So that's where I want to see us be now. I want to see us prioritize the Champions League and the league. I mean, that's
start doing doubles. Yeah,
start doing those doubles. But every season we deliver a trophy or two. So if we're going to deliver a trophy or two, well, it's going to either be one of those three, right? Or two of those three. So the two of those three I want to see is the Champions League and the league. I mean, the one of those three I want to see is either the league or the Champions League. That's what it's going to be. We barely go a season without a trophy. There's always one or two. I can't see us going a season where we just win just the FA Cup and no league or no Champions League.
All right. Well, okay. We'll leave the City talk there because there's
I'm off anyway.
Yeah. So because you've got to go, and there's one more quick conversation.
Big up on me, man. Thanks for coming on, man.
Big up, man. Thank you. Ollie, before you go, is it right if Bantz gives me your number so I can contact you? Is that all right?
Yeah, that's cool, bro.
Nice one, brother.
Cheers. All right, peace.
Thank you. Coming on, man. Big up on him, man. Good G, man.
Big up,
brother, you know what I like about for a City fan, he actually articulates what he means in depth, and that's what I love about the guy, to be honest. Right, but boys, before we quickly go, obviously Mama Fossey's still in the house as well. Just quickly, Newcastle. Quick little chat about them. They got beaten by Luton today. They're up and down as well. Part injuries, part form. Where do you think these guys are going now? And because a lot of people I've heard today speaking about is the pressure building on Eddie Howe, isn't it? Do you think? Do you guys think he's going to get a bit more time? And I want to hear what Mama Flossie's got to say as well. Do you think he deserves more time, and they just have to be a bit more patient, or what? Go on, Fuzzy.
Oh, well, in a dream world, they go down, get relegated. Sunderland overtake them. The Saudis sell the club and send it back to Mike Ashley. But in reality, I think it's just it's turbulent. It's like a plane going through turbulence. It's all shaky. It's all you're gonna get some some steady flying, some very crazy sort of everything's flying everywhere kind of flying. Once I think Newcastle get their strong contingent back in their team, or if they strengthen a little bit in January, I think the waters will become a bit more steady for them. And I think that's when you can say, yeah, actually, I know where Newcastle are going to end up. Whereas right now, sort of bit of air of unpredictability as to what kind of Newcastle you're going to get. But I think that injuries do have quite a big implication on how it is they go into games, because some of the players that they're playing with at the moment have kind of been there when Newcastle were around the Championship, a lower end of the Premier League. So
yeah, like with Man United, it hasn't changed that much. Yeah,
there's players in that squad.
Long stuff.
There are players in that squad that they're not the level that Newcastle that we're already pinning them up as. Like, they're not at that level. The players in that squad are not there. So give them some time to replace those players, so that when you get these injury situations, the players that they've got coming in are a good enough level for them. So of course you can't have them just like for like, because otherwise you've got a lot of people to please and not enough positions to please everyone for those. But to me, Newcastle, a bit of time, a bit of progression, a bit of change here and there. Now they'll be back to the norm, and plus the norm will only be getting better and better by average.
Yeah,
as more time goes by. I think just right now it's a little bit turbulent, so you're going to get an unpredictability.
All right. Well, do me a favor. What are your thoughts, Bantz?
You know what? Yeah, I know it's only Luton, yeah, but that place is a very difficult place to play football, mate.
That's true.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we struggled. Spurs struggled.
Arsenal,
Chelsea got a good result. Arsenal, yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, we struggled.
We actually played quite well. We actually buried them 4-1.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Back at it, I'm thinking, wow.
Yeah. Who else struggled as well when it went? There's a few teams that's Kenilworth Road isn't like a difficult place. Sorry, isn't an easy place to go.
Guess where United aren't getting 3 points.
I don't know, but Newcastle's a funny one because has Eddie Howe taken this team as far as he can, or is it lack of injury? Sorry, man, I'm burping, not burping, but I've got hiccups. Is it a lack of players missing? But I've seen his team still continue to play good throughout the season with the lack of players, but maybe it's taking its toll now. And Eddie can't, I don't know. I think this is like a make or break season for Eddie, because if like he's, say for example, Newcastle, just example, they come 7th or something like that, and there's no cup, FA Cup or whatever, then there has to be like some questions asked, because can they bring someone in who's a better manager that can manage better players in the team? Because Newcastle, they can buy whoever they want, can't they? They're that type of team now, aren't they?
Actually, no, they can't. They have to work out their income compared to their expenditure. So they have to do what we did in terms of they have to start getting sponsorship deals. They've still got to grow commercially, because that's why they haven't blown out on loads of players, because right now, because of FFP, because of the way their finances are structured, because of Mike Ashley, they have to redevelop the system where it can accommodate.
But they still can they still can bring in like two decent.
They can still chop out
70 million,
about 4 or 5 players. Yeah.
How much was Tonali? 60, 70 million?
No, he's 60.
60, yeah. So they can get those type of players, yeah, if they wanted to, yeah. Obviously they can't buy a whole team of big players, but Eddie Howe's done well, but for Newcastle to go to the extra level, I feel that they need someone else. I don't know who, but I just feel they need someone else to take them to the next level, and I don't know who. But I think Newcastle will be bounced, but I think Newcastle will be all right. Once they start to get some players, but I just think it was an off day today.
So where do you think is it a real? And that goes for everyone in the chat as well. Where do we all think is a realistic level for? Should they compete for Champions League again, or what? Well, where's a realistic finish for these guys? Because remember, they have got a lot of injuries, and maybe over the second half of the season they can. And I'm not going to be funny. When they had everyone fit with Isaac up front, they were bagging. I'm not even gonna lie. If they can get back to that level again, maybe do we see these guys maybe top 5 as well? Because top 5 gets Champions League this year.
Yeah.
So
top 5, yeah. They were my team to make top 4 this season. But Villa have come into the mix as well, so it's almost and United as well. As much as we talk about haven't been great and stuff like that, they're that type of team, aren't they? To put a few runs together, yeah, and then they're just back around, 5th, 6th, 4th,
So with as bad as they've been, they're still hanging around as it anyway. Oh my God, he's not going to put it back on, is he?
Oh no, here we go. I've had a bit of chicken as well.
It's poultry in motion.
Poultry in motion.
Well, put it this way. I'll tell you what. We'll end it there in terms of the Newcastle thing. But I do think Man United, in terms of they can get it together, but I think they still because Fuzzy was actually I think he hit a good point with Newcastle and Man United squads. There's still elements there that have been there for 5 years odd, and they're part of the problem, and they need to be changed. And I think that's one thing Newcastle and Man United fans that they need to redevelop that squad a little bit. But literally, I'm going to cut this a little bit short because we're coming up for 2 hours. But I do mention a big up to everyone who sees this, listens to this, or whatever else, and is subscribed to my channel. Because I hit 100 the other day, and I didn't do a video. And I didn't do a video about that the other day, but I just want to have a quick say thank you everyone else. I'm not one. I don't really ask for subs and likes. It's you like and sub because you like to or want to. I'm not really one to sit there and ask that. So it's just for everyone that has. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Like Rosie, Yeti, Mama Flossie, Drew, everybody, like Fuzzy as well, and Bantz obviously for helping me get this far. But just taking a moment just to say thank you everybody for your help. It's been lots of fun so far, and the little community is getting bigger and bigger. Like a lot of teams, they are up and down though. They'll take advantage of teams not playing well. Well, the thing is,
that's the facts.
Well, the thing is, Rosie, in the top 10 Premier League, that seems to be like not the fact that is the case, but we're all sitting there wondering when it won't be. Like, because Arsenal wonder where they're going to pick up. Man City, you say, oh yeah, we're going to get our players back. Then Chelsea fans will make the same excuse. We're going to get our players back, and then we'll start rocketing up. But yeah, it'll all see where because for me, this is the crunch between that January period and February where there's no few cup games, there's no Champions League responsibility. Now is the time for everyone to focus on the league. Because the FA Cup ain't going to start for a little while yet, and the League Cup final's not far off now. So it's one of those ones where when it comes down to the least, we'll get through Christmas, and then it will get to that stretch of games where it starts to pan out again, and we'll see who's got the minerals when they start pushing up. Maybe City might go in the charge again. Who knows? But anyway, Bantz, just want to quickly pick up your channel, brother.
Yeah, man. Football Bantz channel. You can catch me on Insta. You can catch me on Facebook as well. Got memes going. Yeah, just if you want to just jump over to my channel, give me a like or subscribe. It's up to you. I'm the same as Wolf. Yeah, really. Do you know what I mean? I just do this for the likes. Do this for the love of football, and the cat's in my bowl eating my food. So yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good.
The cat's in his bowl, and he's got the turkey on his head. It's all going down today. It's all going down today. Turkey, do you want to shout out your channel? I meant Fuzzy. Do you want to? Turkish. That's what I'm going to call it now. This guy's now going to be christened Turkish.
You can find me on the cooking channel, featured with Gordon Ramsay. I usually hang out in the oven.
That's a fucking disgrace. That is
room temperature. The room temperature over here is somewhere about 180 degrees. Got no fan at the moment, so we're not quite a fan oven, but even so, I mean, 44, all that good stuff. Up to 131 again, so there's 2 subscribers that went away.
Hey, you mean 131 again? All right, okay.
Yeah, I went down to 129 the other day. I was just like, oh, that's interesting. Now I'm back up to 130.
Yeah, that's a good one actually. How many am I on now? That's a good point.
Man, do you know what? Sorry, I'm watching. I'm watching the boxing here. Wilder's legs are absolutely. They're like drumsticks, man.
Is it coming up to the main event, the co-main event?
Yeah, so he's fighting Parker. Wilder versus Parker.
I'll tell you what, unless you guys fancy sticking around, then we'll make it a boxing watch along.
We've got Joshua coming up, innit?
Yeah.
I probably.
You got it on? Have you got it on?
Yeah. What? Hang on. What? Have I got? I can get it on. Is there a link to Bantz channel? Bantz, take a link. Grab the.
Yeah, I can send you my link. One
chat, bro.
Yeah, no worries. Where is it?
Fuzzy, I don't know if you want to bounce out or not, but are you a boxing fan?
Not really.
All right.
Used to be, but not anymore.
Well, the only thing is, I'll tell you what, I'll call it quick. So I just realized I haven't eaten.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking at this guy's head, thinking I want to eat it for some strange reason. And now I remember why, because I haven't done it in about 5 hours of streaming. I haven't had any food.
Oh,
I'm gonna go starting up because I'll be ready for match of the day. And I can watch that beautiful sight of Man United losing again. I haven't forgotten what you did to me a couple of weeks ago.
Mate, you say that. You are the only team that has conceded to us in December.
Yeah. Are we? Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, my flop
Yeah,
strikers. I'll tell you what, you want to know the reversal on that one? My flop striker, who's not that good, that we overpaid for, that was only 30 million, has scored more goals than your whole front line combined. And
Anthony Elanga has scored more goals in the Premier League than our whole attacking department combined.
I'll deep it. I'll even deep it. The flop we sold you was Mason Mount. The flop we sold to them scored more goals than your whole front line as well. Deep that.
Scott McTominay has scored more goals than our whole attack has combined.
Well, in that case, I don't want to hear no more banter coming out of Man United fans about Kai Havertz, because it's just simple, bro. You ain't got no one fucking better. So it's just like, yeah, check yourself before you wreck yourself. If you know, you know. But anyway,
but the main thing is though,
I'm still
Fuzzy's still above you. Fuzzy's still above you guys, though.
That's true.
Yeah. But the difference being is, like we said, we've gone through a transition where we've bought nothing but kids. These guys are buying kids and experienced players, and they're still crap. That's the thing. Okay, I'm not trying to go in on Ten Hag now, but I will say this: the guy needs to pick a formation that suits his players, not players that suit a formation. Because that's the one thing I don't like. And the same thing about Arteta.
Bloody hell, Rosie.
Fuzzy, you've got to do like a watch along, like I don't know if Arsenal playing.
Oh no,
Chelsea or
Rosie, my head wasn't that big back then. Got to remember that.
No, you're elaborating on this too deeply, man. No. This video is going to get deleted otherwise if I get monetized. Keep it PG, dude.
I know my head's fat. I know Megamind half the time, but crikey, it wasn't that bad.
Look. Just with what Rosie's implication was, because we all knew what she meant. Right, look, what she should have said was, imagine if you tried doing it now. You'd have to get a foot out and everything slightly.
Oh mate, oh man. Wrap it up, man. Seriously, I need to eat some more food.
In it, just Ronaldo and Conor McGregor. Yeah, Ronaldo and Conor McGregor. I bet they look so pretty.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
But anyway, everyone, have a good evening, and we are out. Stay safe, everybody.
Peace.